Hello there, we've all done it. Whether it's on foot, car, boat, or even broom, we've all tried to escape the boundaries of a video game. Usually though, there's an invisible wall stopping our fun, or an instant game over screen. Yet, that's not always the case. Like this in SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. If Mr. Pants here jumps out of bounds, he will cling on for dear life as Hans the Hand comes in to take him safely back to the game's boundaries. Thanks, Hans. Over in Serious Sam 3, it's tempting to run into the open desert to avoid combat. That's until we look around and find a giant sandworm lives here and is just waiting for someone to try and escape the battlefield. Ghost Recon Breakpoint puts us behind enemy lines to free the fictional country of Aroa, yet if we get the urge to sail away into the sunset, this will happen. What looks like a swarm of insects approach, but these are actually high-tech nano drones sent to take out any unwanted guests. Cyberpunk 2077's solution is a little different. It's a huge map to drive around, but if we attempt to leave Night City and go beyond the end of the map, this happens. Did you spot it? A glitch in the system, and suddenly we are facing the other direction. The game flips the player around and sends them back into the world. It's quite genius and a little unnerving, to be honest. An absolutely brilliant way to stop players leaving Quahog in the Family Guy video game was by hiring mimes. These magicians that make thin air look like real things can actually conjure invisible walls, and they are impossible to break through.
Damn these mimes and their invisible walls!
Probably the most iconic escape attempt is made in GTA 5. By attempting to sail into the sunset, we reach the Pacific Ocean. Then, suddenly without warning, whatever vehicle you're in begins to fail and sinks down under the waves. Now, back on the surface, a shark begins to circle around us. It doesn't matter how much we keep an eye on it, eventually this happens. And yes, my Trevor does wear a dress. GTA 5 does not like it when we try to escape. One of the first games I remember using a sea creature to patrol the island was in Jak and Daxter. The lurker swam ready to eat any player who ventured too close. Shout out to the PS2 generation who spent their time baiting this fish non-stop. Another game with lots of waves to sail through is Sea of Thieves, which has a unique way to stop people trying to get in uncharted waters. It starts off quite subtly as the lush blue waves slowly become blood red. The weather darkens and suddenly our ship begins to crumble. No amount of repairs can help and bailing water is futile. If you try to escape in Sea of Thieves, your boat is guaranteed to sink. Back on dry land, the Helldivers are known for never giving up and soldiering on to victory in the name of democracy. Should a Helldiver have a change of heart and decide to leave the mission area, a timer will begin to count down to the moment they are declared a traitor.
They abandoned our mission and our cause. Execution was our only choice.
Moments later, our dropship begins to fire down continuously until the player is no more. All in the name of liberty. When Resident Evil was remade, an extra detail was noticed by many players who tried to leave the mansion instead of facing the zombie outbreak. To stop this behaviour, the devs cheekily added this cutscene. By opening the front door, an infected dog would get inside, and any player who wasn't prepared found themselves on the wrong end of a bite. And if the player tries again, Jill and Chris will say, it's too dangerous to open this door. They do have a point. Back over to the searing heat of the desert and Stella Blade. This open world section isn't as big as it looks, so should Eve here try to escape, she'll walk straight into a powerful sandstorm, making every step tougher than the one before. A clever way to keep people in bounds. Mad Max is another sand-covered wilderness, but this one gives us the magnum opus to ride. As long as we have enough fuel, we can gun it into the desert, and out of the boundaries, we enter the big nothing. Literally a never-ending desert. It's only a matter of time until you are lost to the dust, gone forever. Or until you press continue. Something unbelievably brutal now, all thanks to the Suicide Squad game. This one uses water to keep us tethered to the world, but it is still possible to escape missions by simply running the other way. Eventually, Amanda Waller will have enough of your insubordination and remind us that we have an explosive in our neck.
Keep trying my patience and it'll hurt you more than it hurts me.
As the screen glitches, this eventually happens. Oof, I bet they had a splitting headache. I recorded quite a few of these and realised that Amanda Waller has quite a few one-liners she'll deliver after exploding your head.
If your head's not in the game, it's not on your shoulders.
Something equally as impossible to survive is in the game MX vs ATV. A warning pops up after going past the edge of the playable area, and then once that fills up, yeah, yeeted back into bounds in the most painful way possible. In fact, another game does this, Descenders, a downhill racer with very small islands that we just have to escape. And yep, you've guessed it, players that stumble out of bounds are yeeted back to the starting line to repeat the entire event again. You deserved it. Not every escape attempt goes badly. Take this one in Far Cry 6. After finishing the prologue, we are given a boat, and we can choose to leave the guerrilla life behind and finish the game early. By doing so, we are found sunbathing on a beach, as the news on the radio talks about the demise of the revolution.
In other news, war has ended in Europe.
I don't feel guilty at all. Roll credits. And that solution beats Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar decided to pen the entire world behind huge mountains and impassable slopes of mud and slate. So slippy, they can never ever be climbed. There is another solution though, and it's swimming, and yeah, that doesn't go well either. But speaking of swimming, in Mafia 3 we can attempt to leave New Bordeaux via the water. Yet keep your eyes peeled, because alligators are everywhere. The further away from the land you go, the more alligators appear. But hey, there is a trophy for this. Should have swam faster. Crysis Remastered is another game that has a patrolling animal on the boundary edge. By going off mission, our leader will remind us about the wildlife here.
Stay on track, Nomad. Those are shark-infested waters.
And if we ignore him, it's time to become the shark's lunch. Those with a bigger brain than me used a boat instead to get away from the toothy fish, but the devs knew you'd try this and set up Navy cruisers with rockets that will shoot if you get too close. And finally, the game that inspired this video, Dredge. It's all about the exotic world of fishing trawlers. By advancing into the uncharted waters at the end of the map, something unbelievably big gets our attention. I have no idea what that is, but we're gonna need a bigger boat. Hey, you got to the end of a video. I'm Adam, you're awesome. Here's another Easter egg video you should totally watch right now. See ya!